Coming up on Concordia Reports, hang on to your wallets because we're about to take you on a weird and wacky journey through the world of consumption.
Hi, and welcome to Concordia Reports. I'm Catherine Sheriffs.
And I'm Wendy Smith. Today is Buy Nothing Day across North America. With only a month left to go before Christmas, November 24th marks the unofficial kickoff to the holiday shopping season.
But activists who are celebrating Buy Nothing Day plan to go without buying anything at all. With stores already stocking their shelves with Christmas products, today is the busiest shopping day on the American retail calendar. The first Buy Nothing Day was organized in Vancouver in 1992 to celebrate the consumer's power to refrain from mindless purchasing. In the last 20 years, per capita consumption in the United States alone has increased by 45%. Thousands of activists in over 65 countries celebrate Buy Nothing Day with zombie marches through the malls or by cutting up their credit cards. The day is meant to promote a lasting lifestyle commitment to consuming less and producing less waste.
The crème de la crème of sticks.
Come in and find a huge selection of cookware, dinnerware, glassware, flatware, and much more.
The holidays just wouldn't be the same without turkey, fruitcake, and eggnog. But indulgence doesn't have to be such a guilty pleasure. At one restaurant in Montreal, you can enjoy a sumptuous meal and help those in need. Alex Redgrave gets a taste of conscious consumption.
Steal from the rich and give to the poor. That's the code of Robin Hood. But here at Robin des Bois, there's a lot more feasting than theft. The restaurant is run by volunteers, so all the profits go to 6 charities around the city. But it's not your typical soup kitchen.
The idea was to create a space where people can come and volunteer, yet we're not in direct contact with misery.
Judy Servet is the director and founder of Robin des Bois. She saw a need for a different kind of charity, one that would involve everyone in the act of giving.
I know there's a lot of people that can't work in hospitals, a lot of people that can't work in shelters and stuff like that because they find it too difficult, they just can't. And yet, that doesn't mean they have nothing to give.
People who want to volunteer can sign up for a 4-hour shift. The idea is to create a sense of community, where everyone's talents are put to use, even if they have no previous experience. Volunteer Marthe Pelletier is happy with the results. I had time, so I said, why not? It's been over 2 months since I started working here every Wednesday, and I love it. There's a great atmosphere here because you can meet and work with interesting people. It's a pleasure. Natalie Kemp is also a regular at the restaurant. By eating here, she satisfies her stomach and her soul.
I feel personally better to go to a place where I know that the profits are going to go to, not to make one person rich, but many people who need things.
For Judy Servet, the gift of giving just keeps on giving.
We're such in a society where we look at our little nombril, and how am I feeling, and oh, me, that they walk in here and it's like, okay, leave you at the door and now it's us, and you're just part of something bigger than yourself, and I think that feels good.
If you're interested in volunteering at the restaurant, you can visit their website at www.robindesbois.ca to see which shifts are available for next week. I'm Alex Redgrave for Concordia Reports.
Every year, food companies spend millions of dollars on advertising to try and convince us that their brand is the best. But are these expensive brand names really better than their no-name counterparts? Sikander Hashmi joins us now with a look at the growing popularity of no-name brands and what it means for shoppers. Sikander?
Thank you very much, Catherine. 15 years ago, seeing something like this or getting a glossy flyer promoting a store brand was unimaginable. Name brand products were the kings of the shelves. Today, they're sharing space with their store brand counterparts, or private label products as they're called in the industry. They're no longer copycats and are even taking on the big guys in other areas such as banking and communications. The private label industry has become a global phenomenon. Joining us now to help us understand the world of store brands is Francine Jones. She's a marketing instructor at Concordia University's John Molson School of Business. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you.
So when going through my shopping list, how do I know which brand will give me the best price and not the best quality, but the best value in terms of more meat in the soup and more tomatoes in the ketchup?
Well, what'll happen is essentially I think what you have to look at is how, as a consumer, which product you prefer. I guess you have to do the taste test on them. Taste tests are a funny thing because in the United States they did a survey at one point, and this has nothing to do with the groceries per se, it had to do with beer, but they asked college students who, if they had a beer that they preferred, and if they had a preferred beer, would they be able to recognize it in a blind test lineup? And when they did this test, where they blindly presented various beers, similar beers, to college students, only 10% of them could identify their favorite beer. They weren't able to identify the other ones, even though they were convinced of this. Because I think maybe sometimes, we do end up purchasing products because of the way the bottle looks, the label, whatever, and we form an affinity for that. Now back to your question. If you were purchasing a product, and there were a number of products at different prices, store brands, national brands, I think that personally what you'd have to do is try them out, find out which one you preferred, and what would be the closest runners-up. And then if you do the math and figure out what the cost is per gram or per ounce, then you could decide which one you're going to stay with. Because value is really a relationship between the quality that you get and the price that you pay. But that quality is truly perceptual, completely perceptual. It's what you expect, what surpasses your expectations, and what you really like. So you have to decide what it is that works for you.
There seem to be three types of brands out there. There's the lower end store brands like No Name, and then there's the upper end store brands like President's Choice and Compliments, and then there's the name brands. So what's the difference between the three?
You have the originality of the actual product. Much of the upper end products are products that don't have a lot of competition. They may have been developed exclusively for the store, and so you're not going to run around and compare them because you go to the store to get that product. As opposed to the lower end products, which tend to be lower priced substitutes for an existing product, so they tend to resemble other products very closely without being identical.
Okay, thank you very much for doing this.
Thank you.
Francine Jones is a marketing instructor at Concordia University's John Molson School of Business. That's it for me. Now back to you, Catherine.
Thanks, Sikander.
Let's get started.
Okay.
This special offer is easily a $400 value. If you're not 100% thrilled with the face disc, just return it within 30 days for a full refund of the purchase price.
I bought 2 pairs of Lacoste shoes and they're probably like $180 each. So
it would have to be a meal at the Buffet Maharaja. Now actually this sounds like, nothing, right? I mean, it's only like $15, but that's the most I've ever spent on food in the past year or so.
Imagine a camera that actually shaves off 10 pounds instead of adding them on. Well, believe it or not, it's a reality. And this miracle camera hit store shelves just in time for the holiday season. But as Catherine Sheriffs explains, not everyone thinks it's such a great idea.
Ready? Smile.
Hewlett-Packard has given even the most camera-shy of people a reason to say cheese. The new PhotoSmart digital camera has a built-in slimming feature, a tool that sheds approximately 10 pounds from the subject. The camera has stirred quite a buzz, and as Best Buy's Cheeto Wong points out, for good reason.
It's a nice little feature for some people actually like that. It's enjoyable. You can edit your pictures actually directly on your camera instead of editing on your computer, so it's a plus feature. Basically, you eliminate having to use the computer at all.
The new feature takes the subject in the center and compresses it while stretching the sides upwards. Here is Best Buy's Dory Chamoun in a regular photo, and here he is, 10 pounds lighter. Best Buy carries only 2 models with the slimming tool, but Wong says it's just a matter of time before every camera has it.
I'm pretty sure they're going to integrate into all of them soon because it's something that's interesting and kind of fun.
But will the slimming camera be on anybody's wish list this year?
I would be interested because it's practical, because every time I look at pictures on my computer or on my digital camera, I'm always say, oh, I look fat, and it would be more interesting for me to look at picture and say, oh, I look pretty nice on that picture,
It's comments like these that worry Dr. Tinaz Shenoy. Dr. Shenoy is a psychologist who specializes in eating disorders. She says that a camera that sheds pounds can have a harmful impact on body image.
And so if I have to use a camera that slims me down, it reminds me over and over and over again that I haven't lost that weight, I haven't exercised enough, I've put on too much over the holidays.
While the slimming camera may not cause eating disorders, according to Shinoy, it's certainly a contributing factor.
In the more fragile or vulnerable girls, who may have other genetic predisposing factors towards psychiatric illness, they can develop frank eating disorder like anorexia and bulimia nervosa, where again the ideal images are very thin.
Dr. Shinoy says that the key demographic for this new product is young women. She also suggests that instead of using a camera to make yourself look better, why not use healthier methods such as exercise, style, and makeup. For Concordia Reports, I'm Catherine Sheriffs.
No pain, all gain. Big is beautiful.
Would you shell out $7,000 if you thought it would buy you self-esteem? Wendy Smith caught up with one young woman who tried to do exactly that and found that there's a psychological mortgage with trying to buy a better body.
I can't stand the thought of somebody else looking at me and saying, oh man, she's ugly, or she doesn't look good, or something like that. It's something that really bothers me.
Meet Melanie Normando. She's your average 23-year-old, and last Christmas, she decided to shell out $7,000 on a present to herself, a present that 200,000 Canadian women have, a pair of brand new breasts. So how old were you when you decided that you wanted to get breast implants?
When I made a final decision, I was 23, but I've been wanting them since I was like probably 15 or 16.
So this has been something that you've been thinking about for a long time.
Yeah. I always felt, different and inadequate, like, no one's ever going to like me. And I've actually had somebody tell me that I'd never amount to anything because I didn't have any boobs. Everybody knows, the guys pick up a Maxim magazine and all they're doing is ogling over the, half-naked women who are on there. And it's like, why can't, they act like that towards me,
You want them to ogle you?
No, but I don't want them to, I don't want to be like a piece of meat, but at the same time, I don't want to be, completely, looked by. So I was convinced that if I'm going to pay almost $7,000, I should at least go to a significant size,
That's a lot of money for a student.
Yeah, it's rough, money-wise right now, because I am a full-time student. I have, 35 hours of school a week. I have to work also to pay for, the loans I took out. I mean, I'm in my apartment by myself. Nobody's helping me with that. But I mean, even though it's difficult, I knew it was going to be difficult, and I knew I wanted to do it anyway.
How did you pay for it?
Actually, I took out a bank loan. I went in there and I explained to them that I was having plastic surgery and I needed a loan, and they're just like, okay, here you go.
What did your boyfriend say when you told him?
Well, he was one of the first ones to tell me, don't do it, you don't need it, But I pretty much told him, like, listen, I'm not doing it for you, doing it for me. I want to feel better about myself. I want to feel good. I want to,
And did you?
Honestly, I thought it would help, but I find more bubbles, maybe next time I can, get my nose done, or, like, I'm sure once I have kids, I'm gonna want to have liposuction or a tummy tuck or something if I have any kind of, pooch in the stomach area. And like I said, I don't like the shape of my nose. I find it, like, I guess too square. It, like, comes out too much on the bridge here.
What would it take for you to get to the point where you can say, all right, I'm comfortable in my own skin?
I honestly don't know, because I only started thinking of further plastic surgery after I had this surgery.
Thanks for talking about this. It must be kind of an intimate subject of discussion for you.
Well, yes and no. It actually doesn't bother me that much. I'd rather be open about it so that people are more aware of what it's like,
Laval University published a study last fall. It found that the suicide rate among women with breast implants is 73% higher than among the general population of women.
Every woman should have beautiful, sultry eyes. The solution might be reconstructive surgery. She's gorgeous.
The obsession with the perfect body starts early for most women. Our own Debbie Bourne thinks kids' toys are partly to blame. She discusses her beef with the current gotta have it toy for little girls. Hint, it's not Barbie, although her name does start with a B.
Barbie is gone, and brats are taking over. These dolls are a marketing tool aimed at girls aged from 6 to 14 years old. So maybe you don't like the way I'm dressed right now, but what would you think if I looked like this? Those come hither eyes, those bee-stung lips, those mini skirts and bare midriffs. Wait a minute, these dolls are aimed for 6-year-old? Would you let your 6-year-old dress like this? Remember when we were that age? We played with our Barbies, not brats, and I liked Barbie. She could be anything. She could be an astronaut, a veterinarian, even a ballet dancer, and her CV must have been miles long. But what would a brat doll put on her CV? An extra in a Snoop Dogg video? Toys like this teach children that life is all about being sexy, when it's not the case. These are kids we're talking about, and they should do stuff that kids do, like play on their swings and eat gummy worms, not spend so much time in front of the mirror worrying about how they look. Because after all, there'll be plenty of time for them to do so once they're grown up. For Concordia Reports, I'm Debbie Bourne.
$129.99, $29.99,
$49.50 for $199.99. Big gifts, big savings. Wish big.
With only 30 shopping days left until Christmas, stores are dressing their windows in a bid to attract potential customers. Alex Redgrave takes a look behind the scenes.
It's that time of year again. You're searching for the perfect gift, but you don't have time to visit every store. That's where window dressers come in. They have a keen eye for display and a knack for knowing what customers will want. Steve Lapierre is the Vice President of Marketing at Ogilvy. Every Christmas, he's in charge of putting up the store's holiday display. It's a tradition that goes back nearly 60 years, but the unveiling of the windows is still one of the most anticipated events of the season.
When we go outside to correct things in the window, we have to open the window, the panels, and then the glass just gets crowded with kids and parents putting the kids on their shoulder, trying to peek inside. Yeah, there's a real expectation about the window, like there's a demand and people, they want to see it, yeah.
As visual director at Halt Renfrew, Jacques Chouinard uses window displays to give the store a more current image.
It's continuous information, but visually given to the customer. You see that people do pay close attention to all the details that we do put into the windows.
It may be called window dressing, but there's more behind the glass than just mannequins and merchandise. Displays can also be a window of opportunity for creative expression. Freelance visual designer Ludovic Hamelin wants his work to engage viewers, just like any other art form. When you're walking by a display and you're bothered by something that is shocking, or enthusiastic about something that speaks to you, or just captivated, that's what window dressing is. It should make you react.
La vitrine, c'est ça. Ça doit te faire réagir.
And like a gallery, almost everything you see in a window is for sale. But there are still some things money can't buy. For Concordia Reports, I'm Alex Redgrave.
Ogilvy's holiday window will be on display until January 7th. It's located at 1307 St. Catherine Street West.
Montreal's gay village is known for its shopping and club scene, but where are the women? Reporter Misha Warbanski checks out a new shop that targets lesbian customers.
Pants that fit and shop clerks who won't judge your lifestyle. That's what Amy Skinner had in mind when she opened Madame this summer. The boutique is the only one of its kind in Canada. Targeting lesbian women, the shop promotes homegrown designers and has an in-house tailor service.
Well, everything in the store can be modified and tailored, and it's included in the price. So what we hope our clients do is come in, see something, and imagine how, the few things that need to make it into the piece that they've dreamed of but never seen.
Skinner opened Madame in the village, even though the majority of shops and bars there are aimed at men. And places like Magnolia and Lips, made for women, have not been able to keep their doors open.
They haven't been opened by women, and they haven't been opened by members of the community that they're hoping to serve. So they aren't actually creating the atmosphere that the customers are wanting. We aren't wanting the same thing as a gay man, but painted pink. We're looking for something different, and I guess we're going to have to create it ourselves.
Skinner admits there are challenges to running a specialty clothing store, but she is taking time off of her law degree to make sure things run smoothly.
How to serve this huge community with incredibly wide interests, that's really tough. So it's just a process of learning and listening to my customers. What do they want to see? What brands do they hate?
She is also confident that today's generation of lesbian women will represent a bigger share in the economy.
We're just doing it for ourselves, which is, perhaps an element of growing up in an atmosphere that's much more open to us, that we haven't had to hide the way our foremothers have had to.
2 more women-run businesses have recently opened in the village: Bike Shop Revolution Montreal and Restaurant Ella Grill. Skinner says she hopes loyalty from Montreal's lesbian community will help keep these businesses open. For Concordia Reports, I'm Misha Urbanski. Madame is located on the corner of Amherst and St. Catharines.
I guess I bought a lot of things for my car, which were a little bit unnecessary.
Like neon lights for this car.
Neon lights, yeah, stuff like that.
I just bought this jacket down Saint Laurent in a store. It was $300.
No guilt. I'm quite good with it. Thanks.
Yeah, so this was like a $15 meal, and it was really unjustified, but I felt like I had worked hard that day. So if you want to see it in terms of reward, I guess that's what I was thinking.
I was like, oh my God, why did I buy this jacket when I walked out the store? But it's really cute, so no second thoughts about it, returning or anything.
Well, that's it for this edition of Concordia Reports. We hope you enjoyed our look at consumerism. I'm Catherine Sheriffs.
And I'm Wendy Smith. Have a great holiday season, watch the eggnog, and we'll see you in January.
Can you do this with your lip gloss?
45-piece dinner set with golden axe at $49.50.
It's quick, it's easy, and I know it all works because I've been using it myself every day for 14 years.